Aloha Soul Family, this is Cora Flora. I'm here with the soul sister Taylor Alexandra, who we're actually communicating on Zoom for the first time right now. We met briefly in Sedona in a mystical Whole Foods alignment, and now it's our first chat online. And there's so much amazing information flowing through about women giving ourselves the permission to heal and to step into our power. And I feel like just pressing the record button to see what flows through, because I feel like this is so good that I feel like we need to share it. So I would love for you to just take off what we were just saying and we can flow from there.
Absolutely. So, first off, it's an honor to be able to share the wisdom. I think a lot of women right now are being called to use their voice in a powerful way as sacred medicine to bring forth the ancestral wisdom that we hold deep within our womb space, which is the sacred birth, right, of who we really are as women, as ancient wisdom keepers of this earth. And
Full body goosebumps.
right. Yeah, and we were talking briefly earlier the way that we can truly begin to cultivate this powerful connection as women and sisters to support each other in the journey is to give ourselves permission to heal, to give ourselves permission to be able to say, I choose to unconditionally love myself enough that I'm going to accept every part of me with love and choose to, no matter what I'm faced with, no matter how much the wound will challenge me in my decisions to love myself, I'm going to choose to show up for me anyway. And I think as women, we've been so programmed by society to overgive, to give, or on the flip side, to toughen up and to, because the sensitivity hasn't been honored and welcomed like it should. But back in ancient times, when women were on their moon, that was very valuable. They were seen as the wisdom keepers. They were seen as the visionaries. They were seen as sacred holy women who were a divine portal for all ancestral and cosmic knowledge. So they were given the teepees or the special housing to go and just be with the sisters and commune with their moon cycle. And then they would come forth and share with the men what they received, the visions, the wisdom, the knowledge, the insights, and it was very valued. And it was very seen for the holiness and sacredness of what it means to be embodied as a woman. And I think that the divine feminine has been suppressed so much because what the feminine allows us to do is the feminine gives us permission to heal. The feminine says it's time to soften. It's time to surrender into me, surrender into the path, surrender to who you really are, and allow the control, the need to navigate our lives in a very masculine way with rigid so-called structure and security. And the feminine says, I'm wild, I'm free, let me not be tamed, don't tie me up anymore, don't suppress me, because the only way to heal is to open, is to soften. And I think for the women out there who are hearing this, I get all of my inspiration and my insights from the earth, being connected to her. I think it's very important that us women now get extremely connected to the earth, and in any way that feels good to you. So going out meditating, donating your moon blood, I think is a very special way. I know that may be taboo for people, but back in ancient times, I remember as a shaman woman, I would just go sit on the earth and just be with her and drum and give my thanks to her and my life force to her, because she gives me her life force, and I was grateful for that. And I feel the ancient calling and awakening within the womb space of women now. And I think that what's so important is that, like what we were saying before, give ourselves permission, because a lot of us have been suppressed. And the wisdom that I receive from nature, she tells me this one very powerful thing is, because for me, being a survivor from, all types of unimaginable abuse, including sexual abuse, which can make a woman want to suppress who she really is and not give ourselves permission to experience the grand pleasures of this life. This body was meant to experience pleasure. And, so being a survivor from all of that, I found it really difficult to, how do I be open but yet still have boundaries? How do I be open but yet still love myself enough to say no? Like, I was finding it difficult. And she says the perfect example is the rose, my darling. Because when we look at the rose is the sacred symbol for love. all across, the world. We know that. And she says, like a beautiful, delicate rose, so precious, so pure. She opens up herself fully to receive the morning dewdrops, to receive all the beauty that I have to give her. But she knows the alluring power of her beauty, so she gave herself thorns. She said, in order to share with me, you must respect me. And that is what I had to really reflect on, that my love for myself is the boundary, because I love myself enough to recognize, oh, that's a pattern of my past. No, thank you. I've already been there, and I know that that doesn't serve me fully. That doesn't love me the way that I know that is my birthright to be loved. And so coming together with you today, and what I was talking about with your sacred and holy medicine with your music, is I'm going through a very powerful time right now. Lots of transition, lots of stripping away. I think lots of people are experiencing any false forms and foundations of security being stripped away from them. We're in this very powerful time of letting go of all that isn't really who we are, so that we can fully step out in our brilliance and shine unapologetically in the world. In a way that isn't arrogant, isn't a way that coming from the ego, but is a way of just truly knowing thyself, really knowing who we are, and knowing that we are all here with, in one of your beautiful words, with great purpose. We're here with great purpose. And so I want to ask people, in the words of my beautiful sister here, Cora, are you willing to surrender to God's greatest dream for you? All these women out there who are listening, are you ready? And when I heard that line in your music, like I said earlier, my heart just bursted open, because yeah, we all think this, we see these beautiful things and we're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. This is my dream. But honey, when you surrender to God's greatest dream for you, you have to go down the rabbit hole. You're going to have to go down that journey. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Us women have been so silenced in asking for what we need and asking for support. We think that we have to do it all and show up for everybody. But really, what's most important in our lives right now is that we show up for ourselves fully. And so I'm grateful that we get to have this conversation. I'm grateful that we get to spread our message of love and healing for the women. And thank you for allowing me to come on and share with you.
Oh my gosh, you're such a channel. That's like amazing. And I mean, the full body goosebumps, that's when I'm like, usually I get kind of upper body, but getting the full body, I'm like, wow, a lot of layers of my being are resonating right now. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, actually, when you were saying, I'm just going to flow a little bit now and then kind of do it back and forth, is, yeah, when you were saying about the are you ready to surrender to God's greatest dream for you? That was actually inspired by Oprah. If anybody knows Oprah, one of my inspirations. And it was because she was telling this story about how you can have a dream and then God can dream a bigger dream for you. So like, I remember she had shared this story about like wanting a specific type of tree, because when growing up, when she was like working with her grandma, who was basically, I think she was a slave or a cleaning lady, she hoped to one day have a home with this certain type of tree. And so she dreamed for that, but then God dreamed for her to have like so many more trees. And I feel like I'm paraphrasing things imperfectly lately, but the gist of the story that I wish to communicate is just that our journeys are so magnificent if we surrender to our divine potential. And yeah, it does involve, I mean, for me, I feel like every time that I'm like, yeah, I want to go up there, I want to do that, I want to like go and surrender to my greatest potential, very often that means, okay, then you got to heal yourself on the deeper levels and go into the deepest pain to alchemize it. And it's not easy. And sometimes it's just completely the most challenging thing ever. And from my experience, even in the last year, I've been through a huge underworld journey.
Me too, girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'm now in a place of like coming out and being like, okay, yeah, now I see like why I went through that, and I've learned and I've strengthened, and I'm now sharing a sacred structure for people if they do want to heal and be supported and have a lot of support for doing this work. That's what I've created my Golden Gardens. Why am I promoting? Oh yeah, I'm promoting Golden Gardens right now, apparently. But I am just really excited about it. And I feel like I want to just give people faith and support. And the beautiful thing about it is now it's set up so that it can just go whenever. So whenever people are ready, they can just jump in and join on this 7-week journey. because I think everyone has their own perfect timing and it can't be rushed. And I feel like for me, for my journey, like I've been healing sexual trauma since like for like 10 over 10 years, like since my early 20s. I'm early 30s now. Actually, not even early 20s. It was like late teens that I started to get memories, and like stuff started to pop up that was really weird. And um, it's been a long time, and it's been really lonely. There were many times when I was like, am I like the only weird 20-year-old who's like,
Right.
yeah, yeah, like, because I feel like in the idea in the media is like, oh, when you're 20s, you're like cool and having fun, having sex.
Yeah, hanging out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's perfect. And I was just like, I was there in like healing circles and in like going to therapy. And yeah, of course, there's a lot of beautiful, amazing times, but a lot of the time was really, really hard because there I was trying to have fun, trying to be in love, and then having flashbacks and triggers and the manifestation of a lot of challenges from my past that I didn't know that was happening. Like I would experience triggers in relationships and weird reflections, but then realize like, oh, it's because it's mirroring this past experience that I haven't dealt with yet. And over time, now that it's like been over 10 years, I can now look back and see the patterns and see the higher perspective, which is great. And now that's something that I'm starting to see in other people too. I can see their patterning, how it can kind of affect manifestation. And so I'm really interested in like going right to the core and like really looking at the blueprint and the creative power and being like, okay, what is here? What is our energy doing right here? And how is that affecting our reality? And how can we heal it at the core so that it can bless and ripple out in a flower of life in more benevolent ways faster? So we don't have to go through 10 years of challenges, but can do it really
Right.
quickly.
Absolutely. First off, like I've always want to say, I honor you. I honor you. I honor you for choosing to heal, for choosing to see the reflection in things, for choosing to say, you know what, all this experience, because a lot of us, whenever the pain comes up, we're taught that spirituality, oh, you got to be positive. I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Being positive is, in my opinion, accepting all emotions. And we cannot just sit there. I can smell the fake and phony a mile away, darling. You can dress in your all white and drink your green juice, but if you're not truly healing, then I can feel that. I can feel what's going on. Everybody is exactly where they need to be. But really, what I feel like is the time that's being called now for us women, particularly, but for everybody, because it's divine feminine within everybody that's awakening to be healed, is the softening, like we were mentioning earlier, so that we can learn to alchemize. It's so important that we allow the experience to show us what it's meant to show us, so that we can learn. Like what I call it, turning wounds into wisdom, because we're here to do that. We're here to alchemize, all the pain into purpose, all the pain into everything that we're here to share with the world. And I really do commend everybody who's choosing to say yes, because it's easier to say, I'm going to choose only positivity and choose to use affirmations. Well, my darling, your soul is suffering. It's saying, please heal me. It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to say, you know what, I want to say, fuck you. You treated me terribly. And sometimes you need to write that on a letter and then burn that shit on a full moon and say, I release this. I let it go. Because the anger needs to come out. Because I promise you, one way or another, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. And either it's going to come out in disease, so a dis-ease within your body, or it's going to come out as a dysfunction in your relationships. So either way, we have to face it. We can't stop saying that we only want to feel positive things. We've given so much power to only feeling things that make us feel good. But to me, it's, in order to truly feel the divine pleasures of life, to truly feel love, to truly feel joy, to truly feel grace, we also have to be open to feeling deep pain, to feeling deep anger. But one thing that we can remember is that everything is seasonal in this life. That's why I always turn to Mama Gaia as my teacher, Great Spirit as my teacher, because she reveals to us who we really are, the blue veins in our body or the blue rivers in her body. We are one with our Great Mother, and it's time that we reconnect to her. We reconnect to her ancient teachings and wisdoms. And when we tune into that, she says, it will only last as long as it needs to, and it will be gone, and you will be healed, my darling, and you'll be wiser, you'll be more grounded, you'll be bolder in your expression in the world. And one thing that I want to share, I remember being 14 years old and my mom taking me to some bullshit counselor that's got her PhD or whatever it is, and she's sitting there opening up her book and classifying me in whatever category that she was doing. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I don't discredit your long hours and all the hard work and dedication you went to earn that degree. But my soul will not open up to you because it doesn't feel safe. There is no residence there. You are not my teacher. You are not my healer. You are not the one that can truly support me. So for you to do the work yourself, you have paid your dues to step up and be the teacher, to step up and be the sacred space holder for these women and the courses that you're doing and the things that you're doing. And it's powerful alchemy, it's powerful wisdom that we share just by being in each other's presence. Like the energy that we get to share, this beautiful dance that we're doing between each other right now is, you know, inspiring. Like it's been so beautiful, like I said, to listen to your music, to open up my channel, to open up my forms of expression. Hearing you do it so beautifully just resonates with my soul so deeply. And you know, it's so important that we go with what the teachers that we feel in resonance with. And I do feel like women right now are being called to share their wisdom in whatever way that is. And no matter, you know, what steps you need to take, just tune in. If it's time for you to share, your voice will let you know, or your soul will let you know. In whatever way that you're meant to share, you're meant to express your wisdom, it will flow through you. And it will be your sacred outlet for your soul's expression. And I'm just grateful that the women are choosing to heal right now. The men are choosing to heal. I'm blessed to have my sacred partner right now. He was huge in me healing my sexual trauma, me healing myself. Girl, after I had my baby and breastfed for 3 years and my boobs looked like shriveled up balloons that had been popped, and my stomach was so skinny, she like literally sucked the life out of me, but that's okay. I love her so much. I looked at my body and said, oh my God, I've neglected you, darling. I've neglected you. I've put everybody else before you. And I had to just look at myself naked in the mirror for weeks and say, I choose to nourish you with love every day. I choose to say, I'm going to show up for you first every day, because when I'm whole and my cup runneth over, what's in the cup is for me, what runneth over is for everybody else. I remember hearing that from like Yvonne Van Zandt. I can't remember how to pronounce her name, but she's on Oprah too. I remember hearing that quote and it's really stuck with me, because as a mother taught to give so much, I'm like, the best way I can give to my daughter is to show her how to love herself. And I got to show her how to love myself through how I love me. So yeah, it was deep work for me to really choose to, you know, to love my body and to nourish my body correctly, to carve out time for me, self-care. So all this that we're sharing right now, I'm just hoping that the women, you know, I know who need to hear this will hear this, and that these ripples that we're putting out are energy medicine for the women to remember that it's okay to say yes to you. It's okay to say yes to you and to heal.
Yes. And on that note, I'd just like to add, I feel inspired to just share about pain and how a lot of us are scared to feel it, and even grief. You know, I've gone through a lot of deep times of depression and grief, and even like suicidal desperation, like feeling so pained that I was like, it would feel like a relief to not have a body and be in the spirit realm right now. Like there were many times when I thought that, and even just the thought of it, knowing that I could do it, gave me a little bit of relief, even though I've kind of promised myself that I won't. But because I'm committed to healing within this world right now. But I just want to say that despite that, and despite how hard pain can be, there also can be a lot of love there, a lot of like bliss. Like if we can love through that pain, and as if we're like taking care of like our most treasured beloved being, just saying, all right, what would help you feel better, and then just flowing with that. Like so many times during dark times, I would just be like, you know what, I just want to watch a movie, or I just want to eat chocolate, or I just want to go to the water and just like look at the water and just cry, or whatever it was. Every single time I honored that, it would give me a feeling of relief. And then all of a sudden, more love would flow through, more divinity would flow through, more divine wisdom would flow through to help me and guide me on my path. So I feel like just know that even though the feminine energies of emotions can be scary, they will always lead you towards more love if you love yourself through it. And don't kill yourself.
Right?
Oh God. I mean, we all have that freedom, but I just feel like saying that because I know that sometimes like healing sexual trauma, especially when you go into deeper layers and you go into ritual trauma, or you go into like deeper aspects that are super challenging. I mean, there's a reason why they call this soul murder. Like it's like one of the deepest pains, and for someone to violate and damage our sacred ability to feel and love and give life. And it's just such a deep, devastating wound. And I feel like it's understandable why people feel so disconnected from their souls. But I'm here to say that there is a pathway back to your soul, to integrate your soul back into the earth, back into your body, back into your life, back into your heart. And it's through the wound, it's through the pain, and through loving it all.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm actually a suicide survivor. I don't know if you knew that.
I think you might have said it. Wow.
Yeah, at 15, I'm a literally walking miracle, darling. Spirit said, "Oh, we turning this shit around, and you coming back." But there
Did you
was
have experience?
so much pain at 15 from being sexually abused, verbally abused, emotionally abused, physically abused. I grew up in so much. Don't even have to get into the details, but it was so painful. Even just bullying in school, being so sensitive, being the weird kid or whatever it was. I took over 200 and something Tylenol. There's no way that I should even be here. I was pronounced dead in the helicopter when they airbagged me from when they rushed me to the emergency room. And then this guy rushed in and was like, "Oh my gosh, she's flatlined, she's gone." Put a tube to my throat, put my heart back pumping, and he was like, "If she makes it in the helicopter ride, just surviving that, it'll be a miracle." And my body fell into a coma for almost a whole month. And I remember going out of my body and looking at my body and seeing all the trauma stored in my cells. And then I saw all these light codes. And listen to this, it's so powerful. Rainbow rays of light. And when I tuned into the rainbow rays of light, they were the prayers, darling. They were everybody praying for me. I would hear, and I would hear the words that people were sending into my body. It was sustaining my body. While my soul went out to see the real truth of who I am, that I came in here to endure this pain because I was powerful enough to heal it. So I can remind other people it's okay to heal. We've got this. We're meant to heal. Whatever you've gone through in your life, God has put that assignment on your soul, darling. The universe has put that assignment on your soul. And you are so powerful. You are beyond capable of healing this. It is your divine birthright to heal it. And when you come out on the other side, it is so much more beautiful. And I promise it's worth the work. And I remember when I went out of my body, I had to make the choice to come back. Like, you can go and stay out all this, but if you come back, you're going to be a teacher of this medicine of, turning pain into purpose. And I saw my family in the waiting room. I saw it all. I wrote it all down. And my family were actually planning my funeral arrangements. The doctor came in and he said, "She's completely brain dead. It's been almost a month now. You need to start thinking about taking her off life support and, saying your goodbyes." And here I am, 15 years old, my whole life ahead of me. My mom's blaming herself because she's been on methamphetamines my whole entire life. She's one of my main abusers, but now we have a super healing relationship. So I promise you miracles can happen with that. And yes, so I could just see my whole family making that hard choice. And that night I looked down at my body and I said, "I'm coming back." And before my soul could snap into my body, the light of my soul, boom, instantly healed it. And within 24 hours, Cora, within 24 hours, my body healed itself. The water went off of my brain. My liver regrew itself from the size of about a quarter to a $50 to completely its regular size overnight. I'm telling you, this shit is crazy. It's like, boom. And my body, it's just a true story, for realsy. Like, I got doctors to prove it. Yes, it's a true story. It's literally a miracle. I made the choice to come back, and I saw how the soul's journey is the healing power. It can overcome anything and create miracles. And the next day, I woke up, and 3 weeks later, I was walking and talking as if nothing ever happened again. And nothing ever happened. And I was just totally fine. And so when I say that you are capable, whoever is watching this, you are capable of divine healing. You are capable of experiencing loving relationships. I thought I would never have one because I repeated that pattern of abuse in my relationships until after my first child. And then, like I said, I started doing that healing journey. And now I truly can say I have my divine partner. Every day he shows up for me like I show up for him. We hold such sacred love, and the journey is sweet and tender as we heal with one another. It is possible. everything that we want in these fairy tales that we've been, said that this is real and then it's ripped away from us as a child, it can be real. We can create that for ourselves, but we first have to choose to heal ourselves. And so whenever I say miracles are possible and hang in there, I truly do mean that. I truly do mean it with every breath that's in my being. This is what my breath is for, is to remind people it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to heal, and your life matters. Your voice matters. Your journey matters. Everything about you matters. Your sacred expression of the holy. And like I said, I'm just grateful that we get to share this and talk about this. And it's time. It's time now. It's time that we talk about it. It's time that we give ourselves permission to say, you know what? I'm having a fucked up day today. I'm feeling really lonely. I'm feeling really sad. And I could use some support right now. I'm choosing to say yes to my soul, but right now I'm feeling lonely in the journey. Or, oh my gosh, I've just healed one of the most amazing things. And I want to share the alchemy of the wisdom that I receive from healing. It's important that whatever it is that we feel we need to share because it's time.
Absolutely. And I feel too like it's important to recognize when it feels safe to do that, because I feel like in my experience, it's important to, have a
Yes.
system and container, and also recognize, like, I feel like for me, like with sharing stuff like this, like I push the envelope a little bit because I try to crack open and be vulnerable, but I definitely am super sensitive to like, okay, when is this person able to meet me and when are they not?
Yes.
And the people who are treasure. Like even this conversation, just to be able to flow so openly, not only about the dark stuff, but also about the light stuff, is like an immense, infinite treasure. So thank you, because I really appreciate that. And just so you know, your soul and your healing journey and your friendship has a sanctuary with me. So anything, if you ever do want to share that, like I'm totally open, and I get it, because I too, like I go through ups and downs and waves, and it's part of the healing journey. And when we have people who can help us love ourselves and love each other through it, we're even stronger and can heal and rise even faster.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, I deeply treasure that. Absolutely. And I find myself doing that too. Because the way, like what the rose with the thorn that we were talking about earlier, the way that we can love ourselves is to kind of test it energetically. Is this person safe? Is this person, deserving of me opening up my most precious self to? And we can feel instantly. And me, it was my choice to say, you know what? Okay, this person isn't going to show up for me the way that I deserve someone to show up for me, and I have to choose to walk away, because I was programmed, for my abuse to just endure things. And so it's such a beautiful point that you brought up, and it's so important that we make the sacred choice who we invite into our intimate circle. I'm not saying that we don't be authentic with the world. Absolutely, we be authentic, but we be authentic in the most loving way that we can towards ourselves, which is I'm going to open up and share exactly what my soul wishes to share right here, nothing else, nothing more. And I think it's, what you just said is crucial, making sure that we choose our partners, our friendships, because we're going to be impacted in a positive way or in a negative way for who we choose in our sacred intimate circle. So thank you so much for letting me come on here and share, and thank you for sharing everything that you shared, and for just want to commend you, take this time. If something wants to come through, if you're open to it. My name actually went through this huge transformation, shamanic journey to my soul. And she says, your name has been given Taylor Alexandra, yes, but that's not your soul's expression, darling. It's Anawayah, and that means spirit of the earth.
Oh.
And she says, that's what you've come here to help people reconnect to, and you're the voice for me. And so she wants to leave the women with a little bit of kind of light language, a little song. So maybe it's inspired by your beautiful expression. So just tune in, and just want to say thank you, everybody, for allowing yourselves to open up to the message in this video, to give yourself permission to say yes to your healing. Mama Gaia just wants to say she knows this dimension can be challenging. She knows it can be hard. She knows that a lot of us want to escape. But she says, dive in, darling. Feel everything. Allow yourself to feel, because feelings are fleeting moments in time. They come and they go, they rise and they fall, like the beautiful tides of my oceans. Surrender into me softly. give into me. Allow me to show you what it is to fully express yourself here, to fully love yourself here, to understand yourself here. It's okay to heal. It's okay to feel. So in this beautiful language, she wants us to activate the ancient wisdom within you, what you are programmed here by your soul to do. So I just ask that all the language that comes through me activates that beautiful ancient wisdom within so that you can awaken and remember. Una tata ushe tatawe, una shawe, anatawa, toto ushawe a. I tatawe la unushe lawe a tatawe a tawe a. Ushe a una tawe, una shawe a tawe, she nawe a. Umena tawe, I she untuwe a. Uwe shawe, uwe shawe, uwe shawe. Taking a deep breath. Bringing in the Great Mother's love for you. She loves you tenderly. She loves you gracefully. She loves you fully. Breathe in her love. Open your heart to it. And then breathe out. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Wow. Wow. That was amazing. I love it. My mouth is like, now sometimes I sing with light language, but that was such a transmission. I would love to sing with you sometime. And actually, I'm planning on doing an upcoming course in November called Crystalline Channel. Maybe we can co-create somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
Oh, thank you so much, sister. This was so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a blessed healing experience this was for me. I've been calling in a sister for so long. It's been so hard to really find that sacred sister to just really who you deeply resonate with, to just really trust to share in such a vulnerable way. You were so treasured and so loved. Thank you so much.
Yeah, likewise. You're amazing. I'm blown away by your depth, and your light is just amazing. So, yeah. May we create and support in whatever ways serve our highest good. And blessings to everyone out there. Thank you for receiving this. And if you'd like to reach out to
Anawayah,
I'll leave links with this video. Maybe you can comment, and I'll also leave links for ways that you can work with me with Golden Gardens if you're interested. And yeah, mahalo.
Oh, mahalo. So much love, darling. Bye-bye.
Bye.